Total market cap looking interesting. So I do believe we've put in a near-term bottom, you guys. So there we have it. We held this support level. Now, $3 trillion, remember, is a bit of resistance. We're going to have to clear that. And again, we've got the thin ice, the thick ice, the 21 and 50-day EMAs to get above. We got to get above the 3 trillion again. So we need a catalyst. Will it be Friday's crypto summit? Let's hope so. Then again, what happens up here at the midpoint? We've got resistance. So, look, we're not out of the woods, but let's just say, because I still like to be a little contrarian, there's a lot of fear in the markets. Let's say Friday, although I don't think they can actually start buying crypto, but let's say they say, hey, we're gonna start buying right away. That can certainly do it. Until and unless we have rate cuts, quantitative easing, there's really no other catalyst I can think of, then and the ETFs need some kind of a reason to say, all right, we're gonna, because they're responsible, they're custodians for their clients' money. They're not really gamblers, and so they're gonna need and want to have that. So we're putting the pieces together. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Because I'm looking for a reason that could push things higher, and that would be one of them. Now, as far as rate cuts, though, by the way, I was watching this morning. That really depends on the bond market, and the bond market's starting to roll over a bit. And it's not about Powell, it's not about stocks and interest rates. It's the bond market apparently. That is not my area of expertise. And but my job in Raya watch and process a lot of data and information. A lot of it I don't share with you because it's sort of like, I don't know, but the stuff that makes sense and fits, I will share with you. So things are overall bullish. TLDR on today, don't panic, sell your stuff. Look at this, total 2 without Bitcoin, holding this long-term trend line. That's good. Yes, we have sellers up above, but again, we have that symmetrical wedge. These things tend to break to one side. I think we're going to see some catalysts. We'll see things push up. But look, when we get up in this region, we got to be ready to take some profits off the table and buy the next dip. I think that is something that we're going to really need to be diligent about and not let FOMO get the best of us, myself included. There were many signals there. We should have been selling into these sell zones and we just didn't want to believe it. And here on total 3, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, low or high, usually that's enough. Lower high and a sell zone resistance. So, self-explanatory, you guys. So we've had this drawdown here. Let me just do one thing here and see on this Fibonacci here, and I'll use a full one, not just the golden pocket. Well, look at that. That's a good one. So, whoops. On the Fibonacci's, I'm going to start drawing more of those. They're good for retracements. And the golden pocket, again, is the space between the 0.618 and the 0.65, this little blue sliver here. Often retracements come back to the 50% level. We saw that here and it bounced. Day traders use this a lot. If any of you are interested in day trading, I don't recommend it, but if you have experience and you have some money that you don't care about, half joking, there's a number of good ones out there, like Jason Casper is pretty solid. Anyway, golden pocket, from low to high, stretched out. It touched the 50% and bounced, zigzagged around, came down the 50% again, and then boom, where did it hold? That golden pocket between 618 and 0.65, right in there. So it's kind of holding there. That's a good sign. If we want to, I won't go lower on the fibs. When looking at retracements, those are good ones. Just so you know as well, if you go down under settings, you can save different templates. I have this one as the fib golden pocket. Again, I like to see use that as retracements. Works great on short-term time frames for the day traders. And then generally you get a bounce. Once you get one bounce. Past that, it's invalid. It can go lower. On the downside, I don't like to use the 618. I like to use 1.618 and the 2.6183 on the upside. And that's our we showed that on the path to 150K to 200K Bitcoin. If you want me to revisit that, maybe we'll revisit that again. Anyway, as far as now, this is another piece of confluence that, hey, we should hold here. If it does come down, though, we have this long-term trend line. When in doubt, zoom out, right? So if we go all the way back to September of 2023, in crypto years, it's like dog years, it's a long time ago. And we can see this is held since then with the first test here around August 2024, mostly held here. I guess I should draw it. I should draw it here. So we could come down on this region if we were to get another drop. But look at all the buyer support on this. So I think we will have an alt season, but not that screaming, rip-roaring, go to the moon kind of thing. Look, we've got to clear all of this in here. Okay? So point is, we'll be selling here, yes? Yes. Everyone nod with me. Selling at least half, yes? Before, look, it's a very nervous market, and nobody wants to ride down another bear market. This is not a friendly market where everyone wins. It is a zero-sum game, and you have to remember that. And I don't mean to be a doomsayer, but that's my job to keep you guys out of trouble. So let's look at DeFi here. I was hopeful DeFi was going to look ready for a bounce, but where are we now? Let's just see. And I think I already see something that looks pretty good. Let's draw a trend line on this. Ondo and Lido looking fairly good. And did you guys see the article that I shared? And let me know in the chat. Mike had shared it in Retire Rich. They're going to back off on the laws restricting DeFi. It's going to be great for DeFi. And you guys know I like Ondo. Ondo had a nice pump yesterday, and Lido. These are two good projects. Lido Finance, Aave as well, but Aave's run up so much. So, but here we have a bit of a nice little trend line here from this wick, from a buy zone here, here, here. So look, guys, things are looking up. They're looking pretty good. We've still got to clear this sell zone here, and so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's look at the weekly. So everything's looking pretty oversold. We could have another week of chop and then go screaming higher. So these cycle traders, they're kind of day or two give or take. But if we could push into next week, that's why I'm not putting all my eggs in the basket of the cycle traders. It's interesting, and they're maybe almost right. But one of them, was kind of saying, hey, if we don't go higher this week, I'm going to throw in the towel or start calling tops. And now he's backpedaling a little bit, So, look, I think the cycles are interesting. And what I really want to see is some confluence with what we see here. From strictly a charting perspective, it looks like it's bottoming nicely on the weekly for DeFi, but probably it'll be next week. So this week needs to close. And then let's say we have another wick down scare in DeFi next week. Let's say we have a buy the rumor, sell the news, but we want to see it hold. And then if we can put in a green doji here where there's a wick below, but we close up on the weekly going into next week, that'll be good. Except I'll be, Mike and I we both have we should name our own indicator. Whenever he goes on vacation, the markets tank. And when I go away, the markets kind of tend to fly and I miss it. And so I'll let you guys know I'm leaving after next week's class. I'll be flying down to Florida and for a few days and then leaving on a cruise out of San Juan. I don't really want to go away. I had booked this a year ago and got sort of snookered into it. A friend of mine runs the San Juan Social Club, and I said, hey, would you mind promoting for us? Let your members know about Moonstream. He said, I will if you buy a ticket on this year's San Juan Social Cruise. And he said there'll be a lot of crypto people there. Brock Pierce will be there, and I hadn't met him yet. And so anyway, that's where I'll be. I'll be on the high seas, but the internet is not really good. And so I will be checking in as often as I can, and hopefully Virgin has better Wi-Fi than Carnival. And hopefully I won't feel like getting off the damn boat after 3 days like usual. But we'll see. We'll see. And I will be kind of getting off on the various ports. I won't be radio silence, but hopefully we'll be getting a bounce by then. That's why I'm giving you guys the game plan. And again, what we want to see here is a green candle, and we want to see our TSI weekly. Guys, these are the best times. So remember in September, October of 2024, when the weekly TSI goes green, let's set an alert here on that. Oops, wrong button. set an alert on the TSI Pro, oversold. I want to do it as crossing up over 20. You guys know the drill. And I'm going to say here, buy DeFi, because that is the best time. All those coins. Remember back here the year before. Let's see, all the way back here, it was it was October of 2023. Maybe that was the AI tokens. We were buying a bunch of stuff down here, but specifically, remember, the weekly is the cruise ship, ironically, and it's harder to turn. So once it turns, it starts heading to Bimini. It's pretty much going to Bimini. It takes a while to turn away. Right now, it's coming into San Juan here. You can tell I'm thinking about the cruise now. Cruise ship's coming in to dock in San Juan. It's gonna, from the dock, it can turn and go this way. But once it's going this way, it doesn't like to turn around. It'll do it every now and then, but the momentum is there. That's the point. And when we get oversold daily and weekly turning higher, they're going in the same direction. That's when the bigger moves happen, you guys. And by the way, I was happy to hear. I guess Hector, was your comments on the signal line. I tend to favor the ERI and ERI and TSI, but it's an interesting observation you made on the trend channels. Sometimes I'll draw trend lines on these things on the TSI, and these are not going to be as exact, but it does seem to have a little bit of validity there. So we'll be watching that. And anytime we have a breakout heading higher into a new trend channel, that's good. We don't always. Sometimes we're in the chop. All right. So with that, and if you guys, anyone else sees anything, feel free to share. I remember, Sam, when he was in the group, he was doing some pretty cool things and overlaying all the indicators onto one on the chart. To me, it was visually overwhelming, but he had some interesting finds with that. All right, total crypto DeFi as well. We have RSI bullish divergence here on the daily. I think we've covered that enough. So point is, things are looking bullish-ish. Holding trend line support. Total market cap, this is the others, which is everything but the excluding the top 10. So this is altcoins as well. Let's open that up a bit. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, but look, we're ready for a break and a new uptrending channel to form. It might take a little while. Bitcoin should lead the big ones, and then the altcoins later. I just wish these red boxes would disappear. So we wait and be patient. Warren Buffett saw a great quote recently. He said, "The stock market is a great place to transfer money from the impatient to the patient." Certainly applies to crypto as well. Bitcoin dominance up slightly, still up above 61. Let's look at this. Looking ready to push higher on Bitcoin dominance. So getting ready for Bitcoin to break out. That's kind of why I was buying a little bit. Not a lot, but I'd rather buy into strength once it clears all those sell blocks. And so Sol dominance down, but I think Sol is, I don't know. I don't want to keep talking about it because I don't want you guys to get hurt if it doesn't do what I think it's going to do. But ETH suffering as well. The DXY, let's look at that. Not to talk about those two. The Dixie's coming down though. We had it decoupled. Dixie went up and Bitcoin and crypto were going up. Now that doesn't mean the dollar was necessarily strong. It was strong in relation to the euro and the yen and some of those things. Again, not my area of expertise, but close enough. Hey, this is Brett from Moonstream. If you'd like to learn more about our pro trading signals or our live classes every Wednesday or our Retire Rich program, go over to moonstream.io/start.